In Costa Rica, there is a phrase, Pura Vida. It means more than just pure life. It's a greeting, a farewell, a way of saying, I see you, I'm here. This moment is enough. But maybe it also means life, in its rawest and most natural form, is worth protecting. This is not a travel film. It's a conversation between water and forest, between breath and silence, between what we've seen and what we've felt.
What we're trying to do is to restore this reef.
Cheers to those guys from universities and biologists. We get to learn a lot from them.
I've never seen so many sharks. So many big sharks. Here we are in Costa Rica.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to say.
Para mantener aire fresco entre la cabina.
Vale.
Antes del despegue la vamos a cerrar y todo asegurado y listos.
Vale.
Bienvenidos.
Costa Rica holds just 0.03% of the Earth's surface, and yet nearly 6% of all known species live here. 1/4 of the country is protected territory. National parks, marine reserves, rain and dry forests and mangroves. It's not just land, it's a blueprint for something else, something older, something possible. We came to the Osa Peninsula by small plane and boat, following a wild and unspoiled coastline along the South Pacific, where brown runoff water melts into blue and the sky begins to fold into trees.
Vamos a permanecer acá un minuto más para estabilizar los turbos y estaríamos listos, ¿ok?
Vale.
Drake Bay, named after Francis Drake, pirate to the Spanish, hero to the English. A man who may or may not have landed here.
Ahora mismo nos encontramos en la bahía Drake, la cual está ubicada en la península de Osa, al sur de Costa Rica. En esta zona predomina el bosque tropical lluvioso. Tenemos acá al frente la reserva forestal Golfo Dulce y propiamente cerca del hotel SCP Wilderness Lodge, Parque Nacional Corcovado, el que ha sido considerado uno de los lugares más intensos biológicamente, con aproximadamente 2.5% de la biodiversidad mundial.
A place where jungle runs straight into sea, and the air is heavy with the scent of everything alive.
Como costarricense, considero que hemos hecho un gran trabajo en cuanto a conservación ambiental. Sí falta un poco, falta más esa conciencia ambiental. Hay rincones de Costa Rica que precisan de esa educación.
Caño Island has been protected for more than 30 years. It was protected first in the 1970s because it faced big danger. At that time, the United Fruit Company, that is a United States company that exports banana, it was starting to expand onto the south of the country. At that time, they found the island and their plan was to do a casino. In that time, we had Francisco Carrasco, the president at that time. He saw this and he declared this area and this park and this island, as a biological reserve.
Here, we submerged for the first time. Beneath the surface, a different architecture revealed itself. Reef and rock structured like cathedrals. White-tipped sharks slicing through shadows, rays drifting through the blue. Turtles, sharks and manta rays passing like ancient spirits. Small, brilliant fish-like flashes of thought. We weren't exploring, we were listening to the whales and to the weight of the ocean itself.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Back on land, grazing spider monkeys marked the hours, and the forest whispered its own ancient rhythm. Everything felt connected. The soil, the salt, the sound. This is a place where nature doesn't need to be explained, only experienced. It just needs time and attention. In many places we destroy to build, cut down, pave over, extract, chasing quick returns even if they cost us the future. But in the main, Costa Rica chose something different. A long view, a quiet resistance. They discovered that protection can be powerful, that a tree standing is more valuable than one cut, that a living ocean draws more than oil ever could, and that a country, no matter how small, can make nature its identity, its promise, its pride.
Pura Vida, it means many things. You can be sad and someone can come here and you're like Pura Vida, because it no matter the problems that you have in your life, you always have to be positive. So Pura Vida is like, hey, everything is fine. I will come through everything.
Further north, the light shifts. Drier winds, paler skies, and a different coastline, more open more exposed. We arrived in a small plain, lifting off from the green maze of the south, crossing ridgelines and clouds until the forest gave way to the wide, sunlit Pacific. At Playas del Coco, we found a different rhythm, a dive community.
Yo soy Daniel Miranda, soy instructor de buceo, soy el dueño de Kraken Divers.
Stories of the sea passed down over compressed air and diving tanks.
Elciana Luna, cofundadora de Alianza Mar y Tierra.
Here too, we went under, into another realm of suspended time.
My name is Rolvin Garcia. I'm from Costa Rica. I'm a PADI instructor.
I'm Fabio Quesada and I'm a marine biologist here in Costa Rica.
Yo soy Kevin de Lemos, yo soy parte de la Alianza Mar y Tierra, soy parte del proyecto de restauración de corales. Entonces primero bajamos a 20, revisamos, tal vez no pasar de 25, porque si llegamos a 30 se nos acaba el nautical time muy rápido.
Like before America became a continent, this land used to be here already. So there's a lot of history that we don't know much because they don't really teach us that much in school. But through the years, through those guys from universities and biologists, we get to learn a lot from them.
They call them bull sharks, robust, restless, built for strength and for survival. Here, they're not hunting. They circle the rocks slowly, patiently, because this is a cleaning station, a natural spa of the sea. Small fish tend to them, removing parasites from their skin, gliding just close enough without fear. Like underwater barbers, they offer a service even the sharks have learned to respect. A symbiotic relationship, an exchange for care, a moment of vulnerability and trust. A conversation without words, where roles are clear and balance is maintained by instinct alone. The system holds, but only as long as we remember that we're not the architects.
I've never seen so many sharks. So many big sharks. The visibility goes from like amazing down to kind of like not great, but it's kind of fun because then something just appears out of the brown.
Yeah! Pura Vida!
Exacto, típico. Esa
Sí, por eso yo me acerqué un toque ahí como la primera.
Everything is connected here. The rain that falls in the mountains feeds the mangroves. The nutrients of the forest nourish the sea. And what dies in the ocean returns to the land. This is more than ecology, it's choreography. Costa Rica reminds us that the boundary between land and sea is an illusion. That's what we do to one, we do to both. And in a time where ecosystems collapse like cards, this country, small, wild, imperfect, offers an alternative. Listen, protect, share. Maybe Pura Vida isn't just a phrase. Maybe it's a compass.
So we are here in Matapalo. Matapalo is actually one of the last alive proper coral reefs that we have here in the the Pagayo area.
What we're trying to do is to restore this reef. We have like a kind of a nursery.
And we're here in Matapalo because we've seen that this coral is really resistant and resilient to things like climate change and heat events.
Somos un grupo de ciudadanos aficionados por la conservación, tanto de mar y de tierra.
Well, first off, of course, just to try to restore the reef itself, but also to try to change the genetics of the coral itself, because one of the factors that actually it's been proven that this coral died due to is because it was very poor in genetics. It wasn't really like fit to survive the water temperatures here that we have, unfortunately, due to global warming.
In the 2000s, since the coastal development started, a lot of the reefs started to die because of different factors, like for example El Niño events, which are like these really warm events, but also the big coastal development in the area created high nutrients in the water.
Ya poner en práctica pues todo lo que queríamos desarrollar, como lo que es el proyecto que vimos ahora, que es la restauración de los arrecifes en la parte del mar.
So now we're trying to grab some fragments here from Matapalo, and we're gonna take those fragments and we're gonna plant them in these spiders, and then we're gonna take them back to Ocotal, to a restoration site, to try to boost the genetic resilience of our corals.
Damos un número a la araña y le damos un seguimiento para ver el crecimiento. Este es como el número de cédula o de ID de la araña.
We not only monitor the coral, but we also monitor the community around the coral. So we monitor the fish and the invertebrates community to see if with time the coral is growing and also the community is changing. So yeah, and we see really positive results. So when you plant it, you'll see there's so many more fishes every month, and yeah, it's really exciting. We have a coral fragment. So actually, if you see up close, then you can see it. You can see that you have like the small anemones or the small polyps. So basically, here they are. Now we're gonna put it in the spider.
Hopefully we will have most of the community involved, like dive centers and people to support us. We're trying to like put, for example, buoys, so boats don't have to throw the anchor and they can just take like leisure on the buoy.
Now we're planting a spider, but then we tag them, and every month we take a picture of the spider. So, and then in the lab we measure how the coral grows each month. So we're measuring how the coral grows, and we also put some hobos, we call it, some apparatus that measure temperature, and also we take nutrient samples from the water. So we measure like physical characteristics of the water to try to associate which physical characteristics of the water are better for coral growth.
We came looking for water and we found breath. We came looking for colour and found a landscape speaking in sound. We came looking for nature and found a mirror. Costa Rica is not a paradise. It's real, alive, complex, fragile. And that's what makes it matter. If we can learn to move slower, to listen longer, to see with more than just our eyes, maybe that's what Pura Vida really is. A way of living that doesn't chase more, but leans into enough. A reminder that even the smallest places can hold the largest truths. We can carry a piece of this place with us, not as a memory, but as a way of being.
¿Cómo es la gente de Costa Rica?
Y la gente, al menos aquí en Drake Bay, todos son pura vida. Donde vaya usted los van a recibir excelente, con los brazos abiertos, sí, y bien.
¿Qué significa pura vida para ti?
Pura vida significa amor y paz, como todo bien cuando recibes a una persona, ¿cómo estás? Pura vida y no sé.